So, about a month ago, give or take, Roosh V was on a Andy Worski live stream with Brittany Venti and some woman named Anika. I don't know. And of course, Andy Worski. Duh. Now, there's actually a lot of really interesting stuff Roosh says that I kind of want to analyze and dissect in its own video, and I may or may not do so. But I do want to dissect this idea because I do think it was very interesting. At one point in the video, well, it's not a video, it's a live stream. At one point in the live stream, Roosh V made a point. Roosh V says this.
I have a date set up next week with a lovely man.
Dating doesn't work. Dating
I'm
was
supposed to
invented
just get
by
married
gay people.
first day?
It was invented by gay people, though you just said.
Dating was used by gays to creep around at night and do their homo stuff. When,
so what am I supposed to do?
I swear to God, dating
Give
at
me your
night,
advice.
drinking alcohol at night was invented by gays. Yes.
Well,
so
wait,
I don't drink
Roosh,
alcohol.
how do you
Who
how do you
drinks
know you
alcohol
want
on
to go
dates?
out with someone without dating them though? Like, do you just go?
Dating doesn't work. It's a new invention that heterosexual people have tried. The divorce rate proves it doesn't work.
So then,
If
how do
you're
you find
using
someone
dating-
then?
I don't know.
You don't know.
And in
I
India,
think-
there are some very
He
good
doesn't know
stories of
shit.
Now, I do not know if dating truly is an invention of homosexuals. It may very well be, but I don't know. However, I do indeed think that that is an interesting point to consider. Not the whole, gays invented dating, but the idea that dating does not work. Now, the girls in the live stream, I don't even think were serious in actually having a discussion with Roosh V. It just kind of seemed they more just wanted to either troll him or just, scream at him. So, yeah. But I do think it was kind of sad at the fact that they would rather take that opportunity to bitch at Roosh V rather than actually analyze something that he said. Because I do think that this is interesting. Now, is Roosh V right? Is he wrong? I don't know. But I do think that that should be chatted about, and that's what this video is about. This video is about chatting about the idea that dating doesn't work. Not really so much whether or not gay people made it up. I can't answer for or against, I don't know. But whether it works or not, that's what I'll talk about. So, before we start talking, I think there's one thing that we must get out of the way, and that is, we must answer, what exactly is dating, my friends? What exactly is this thing that we're talking about? So dating, my friends, is a verb of the word date. And a date is a set appointment of which usually a male and a female set out time to spend with only the two of them together. Basically. It's basically what a date is. A date can be something where you go to a restaurant, or it can literally just be a walk in the park. But usually it's a set amount of time or a set time set about for two people to spend time to get to know each other better. And this is what dating means. You're going on multiple dates with the person in order to learn more about them. So Roosh V doesn't think that this idea of dating is very successful. So what does that even mean? What is he even talking about? Work? What do you mean work? Well, I would imagine, I could be wrong, but I imagine what Roosh V is saying when he's saying that dating doesn't work is he's saying that it doesn't work as far as finding stable, long-term relationships. Dating is not the best way to accomplish this goal. Now, of course, when I ask this question or when I make this point, someone is going to immediately ask, okay, well then what are we supposed to do? Hold on, my friends. Wait a minute. Hold on. If you ask the question, well, what am I supposed to do? You do realize that you have already capitulated before you've even defended the idea of dating, correct? Come on, let's just stop for a second. I know a lot of people are asking that question. I know a lot of people are thinking, well, what else am I supposed to do? Chill out. We don't even know if dating doesn't work or if it does work. This is what the discussion is about. So, how do I feel about it? Well, I have to say, I can completely understand why Roosh V would say he doesn't think dating works. Because when you look at the divorce rate, well, you can see it's not looking too pretty for us Americans. I tell you what. The divorce rate, I think, last is, I don't know, well over 50%, probably around 50%. Doesn't really matter. It's a lot higher than it should be. I mean, technically speaking, when you get married, it's supposed to be a lifetime commitment. So any divorce is really bad, but I'm just being pedantic there. The point that I'm making, though, my friends, is the fact that we have a lot of dysfunctional and unstable relationships and just volatile situations where men and women will end up with each other and not even like each other for quite a prolonged period of time. Now, this isn't to say that there are no successful relationships ever, because that's just dumb and stupid. Like, of course there are, duh. Yes, I mean, people will indeed find individuals that they find attractive and they enjoy spending time with, or people that just enjoy spending time with. And they will date them and then get married to them, and they'll never look back. They'll be together forever. The interesting thing, but here's the thing, this is what's sad about that. The fact is, this is literally like Hollywood fantasy. This is what you hope for when you date. This is actually not a common occurrence with dating. In fact, the interesting thing about dating is the fact that there is a lot of failures that have to come, especially if you're a man. There are a lot of failures that have to come long before you actually are able to get into a relationship and then try to see if the relationship will even be functional. As a man, especially as a low value man, and I don't really think that, when I say low value, I mean in the eyes of a female, because I personally don't really think that, not having a lot of money makes you low value. Just to be clear, this isn't me saying you have low value, just this is how a woman would perceive you. So, low value perceived men already, just are fighting an uphill battle when it comes to dating, because you already have to try to convince a woman to like you. You already have to try to convince a woman to date you. All right, that's it. You're not even dating it at that point. You're not even dating. This is just trying to get into the relationship. This is just trying to date. This is just trying to get there. And even then, the interesting thing about dating is, even once you do find a woman that finds you attractive, it puts time away to spend with you, there's still the idea that you have to see if you even like the woman. You're still, the dance that you have to do. And that is where you send your representative up against her representative, and you two have to fake out all of the different pain and insecurities you have and pretend that you're actually really cool, interesting people. And then, over a set period of time, once the honeymoon phase is over, however long that will be, finally the mask will come off, because you think that you've got this person hooked, and you really reveal to them just the abhorrent human being you truly are. And I think that this is why Roosh would probably say that dating doesn't work. I could be wrong, but I think that this is why. Because I think that this is something very important we have to talk about. We have to talk about the fact that when people date, they do indeed send their representative in order to convince someone that they're really good, rather than show the individual who they're really going to be. Now, there's an obvious reason why no one does this. And the obvious reason why is because if you are always genuinely honest with who you are as a person, and the genuine honest truth of a person is that they're just shitty, well, they never get anyone to date them. Obviously so, this is why. But explaining why a problem is a problem is not a counter argument as to why it is a problem. And all I did was just explain why this is an issue. It's still an issue. And I still think it's more to Roosh's point as to why he thinks dating doesn't work. If this is true, again, this is a lot of ifs. I haven't talked to Roosh personally, but in my mind, this is what I can see as him saying, this is why it's not successful. When you see the fact that you're using their representatives rather than their true face in order to date someone, it's really, really, really tough to find or form a relationship based off of two people pretending to be really great, only to reveal themselves to be horrible later down the line. Now, to be clear, there are good relationships that are formed, my friends. Do not be confused here. Do not be confused when I criticize this, that I am saying that there have never been good relationship ever, because that is just simply not true. But what I am saying is that there's a lot more dysfunction than you have successful individuals that end up getting married and staying married. See, I think another problem with dating I think is really important to talk about is the fact that a lot of people seem to be totally confused on what they're supposed... Let me bring that back. A lot of women seem to be totally confused on what they should be going for when they're trying to find a mate to select, okay? And yeah, I do specifically mean women. This is kind of, I would probably say maybe 90% women's fault. The 10% of the man's fault, 10% of the men pretending to be nice people, I would put in there, because you can pretty easily tell when someone's pretending to be nice. It's really hard to be. You can only be manipulated if you want to be manipulated. So no, I'm not taking that responsibility from women. Like, they're picking these shitty people. Okay, done. Anyhow, moving forward. So I think there's a huge and total just kind of confusion as to what exactly the purpose of dating is supposed to be. What you're supposed to be doing. See, what you're supposed to be doing, especially when you have a long-term relationship, is screening the person for marriage. That's what the principal idea is supposed to be. Now, a lot of people don't use it that way. A lot of people kind of use it to just kind of have a person to have sex with on tap. So they just pick really attractive people and they just kind of stay with them because they're either dealing with their insecurities of being lonely, or they just really like having a bunch of sex with that person. It's not really about trying to form a stable, coherent family unit, for your children, or a stable, situation for your children, which is the point of marriage. Is why you get married. It's more about finding someone that fulfills the void of you being lonely, or finding someone that genuinely just kind of makes you feel good about you. And that is also, this is in the form of them having sex with you. Sex is pleasurable, it feels good, and also in the form of them saying lots of nice things for you and getting nice things for you. Now, this affects women a lot more than men, because women are a lot more, vain creatures. Like, women are the ones that really need to feel good about, being women. The thing about a lot of young ladies is the fact that I've mentioned this in other videos, but I think this is a huge issue with women, is because a lot of women don't really have to prove themselves to be women. They don't really have that external struggle they have to overcome that will give them their self-worth and strength of character. This isn't all women, by the way, but a lot of women. Because they don't have that, there's this huge void and just kind of lack of understanding of what it means to even be a woman, or just a huge lack of understanding of how to be a respectful young lady, and they just can't really learn to like themselves because they don't know themselves, or they don't have any skills to really build any confidence. So the only thing they have is whether or not they're pretty or attractive to men. And I think that with a lot of girls in their relationships, they're picking, especially younger women, and then even adult women actually too. They're picking the men that just make them feel good about being women, or feel good about being attractive, or just feel good just physically, sex, rather than trying to create a stable environment for their would-be children. Some women, they're not even thinking about having children, which is a very peculiar thing to me. For anyone that decides to get into a male-female relationship and not want children is a very strange thing to me. I do not understand why on God's great green earth you would put yourself through the stress of trying to navigate a long-term relationship for no other reason than because I just wanted a friend to have sex with. This is just some strange shit to me. You really shouldn't even be having sex if you don't want children, to be completely honest, unless you have a vasectomy, or you get the tube side. I mean, seriously. I digress. The point that I'm making is that the core principal idea of a relationship is obviously to find someone you like being around, because you're going to spend the rest of your life with them if you get married to them, so you have to like them, you would hope, in some capacity. But the idea, more than anything, is to find someone that will be a good parent to your children, that you enjoy being around, that you enjoy raising children with. But a lot of people don't look at relationships that way, so they break down because they're very superficial, or they're being used as a coping mechanism in order to deal with problems and insecurities people have, rather than them being a strong foundation where two people actually come together and try to help each other out and improve each other and actually love each other and grow to become much better people. And I think, and I put this mostly on women because it's mostly women who have to pick men. Now, of course, men pick women, they pick which woman they might approach, but I mean, once you've done that, she kind of has to decide whether or not she wants you or not. So, I don't know. I think you guys kind of get the point there. So, even though I've chatted about some of the issues when it comes to dating, I kind of talked about a complete lack of direction people have when it comes to dating, and I kind of talk about how a lot of long-term relationships just don't end up working out. I mean, we still kind of have to chat about and try to figure out, does dating work? Now, truth of the matter is, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, I do not have any empirical data. I do not have any of the numbers in order to show you statistically what is good and what is bad. I only have just what I have read online and what I have seen in my personal life and what I have seen in my friends' life and what I have seen in the lives of strangers. I only have the real life personal application of seeing what used to happen, okay? That actually hurts my throat. I'm not going to do that anymore. So I've only seen that. I mean, I can't give you numbers. The truth of the matter is, I mean, maybe, I don't know, evidently most relationships are not working out if they're ended up in divorce. So I don't really think we can say that they are. But, I don't think I'm wrong here when I make the claims that I make. You know, maybe the scope might be wrong, but the truth of the matter is, this is certainly a problem that's going on with people in their relationships. So I think that's what Roosh is saying when he says that he does not think that dating works. So what is the counter argument to Roosh V? Like, how would you say to Roosh V, nah, Roosh, I think you're wrong. I think dating does work. I don't really know how you would. Because, like I said, the successful long-term relationships that last, like, you know, till death is not really something that I have actually ever seen anyone in except my great-grandparents. They're the only people I've ever seen get married and, like, stay married until they died. And even then, I was a child, so I didn't really have an access. I only saw the tail end of their lives together, so yeah, a lot of good that did me. Every other relationship I have ever seen, my friends, has broken down and has just failed. And not just failed, not just has been bad, but failed miserably. It just kind of left the two people kind of in a worse place. I honestly can't, there's only one relationship I can tell you from high school. And that's I have one friend I know who's been with his girlfriend for, I don't know, I think maybe like 6 or 7 years now. So that's one of the longest relationships I've seen in my personal life. Apart from that, no one I know has been able to be in a long-term successful relationship and stay in that relationship. It always fails. Always. And it sucks. And when you see a lot of failure, more than you see success, it's very hard to then come out and say, wait a minute, I actually think dating is a very good idea. I think some of the merits of dating is the fact that if you don't take it too seriously, you get to have lots of different experiences with women. But unless you actually intend on doing anything with those experiences, well, then a lot of fucking good it does you, right? I mean, yeah, you might get to talk to or date a bunch of women or men, but if you don't ever actually apply all the information you've gained, all the experiences you gained, then you really haven't amounted to much. So I don't really see a huge benefit to that if you're just going to be dating casually ad nauseum, like up till, you know, whenever. Like, I can only see the benefit of that if you're gaining life experience in order to focus on one person or like a few people. But, excuse me, gaining a bunch of life experience with strangers is a very strange thing to me. I don't really see the long-term benefit there. There actually wouldn't be any long-term benefit now that I think about it, just by definition of the word, because these will all be short experiences with people. So kind of answers itself, right? Whatever. Point that I'm making is, I honestly can't really make a case for why dating is a good thing. I think the thing about dating is the fact that, you know, as millennials or as young people, it's kind of all we have, and it's kind of the only tool we have. Despite the fact that a lot of young men really struggle to find women that like them, and a lot of women really struggle to find, like, you know, good men that will, like, love them and protect them. I'm sorry. A lot of women struggle to pick those men. They don't struggle to find them. Like, they find them all the time. They kind of struggle to just, like, select them. Because a lot of women are struggling with that, it's really hard to come up with a case and say, actually, no, wrong answer, Jack. I actually think dating is a really good thing. I cannot make that case. Now, perhaps someone in the comment section can make that case, and that is what I'm hoping for. I hope someone in the comment section can make a case as to why dating is a great tool for finding a long-term stable relationship, because I want to see that. And if I do see that, then I'll just probably make another video where I read out those comments and probably comment upon them, or not comment, maybe just read them out and see what they are, because that is exactly what this video is for. It is just to get the question in your mind and to think about it. Am I saying that dating doesn't work? I don't know, maybe. The point is, I want to see what you guys are thinking. So, with that being said, my friends, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed today's video, man. I certainly hope you guys... I totally forgot my sign-off. How do I do this thing again? It's been so long. I got it. So that being said, man, I sure hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, man, go ahead and click the like button. And shoot, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comments below, and as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.